From CBS News Bay Area, this is the Morning Edition.
The wealthiest person on the planet, Elon Musk, is taking aim at a Bay Area politician. A war of words that started on social media that could end at the ballot box. Police are searching for answers after a 2-year-old was shot and killed in Vallejo. What neighbors are saying about this tragic incident. And how cage fighters are taking on a new battle outside the ring to the governor's office. What they're hoping to get after pro careers in mixed martial arts are over. Good morning and thanks for starting your day with us. Today is Saturday, September 23rd. I'm Max Darrow. Elon Musk is already quite busy running Tesla, SpaceX, and the social media platform X, formerly known as Twitter. But he's now apparently setting aside some time to wade into local politics here in San Francisco. He is going after progressive supervisor Dean Preston, vowing to toss $100,000 into the mix to get him out of office. We asked Supervisor Preston for his reaction.
The only reason anyone is interested in what Elon Musk has to say is because he has billions of dollars. I would say to him, use those funds to actually solve some of our problems instead of trying to intervene when you're upset at a local city supervisor. He's a billionaire. He's very right-wing. He doesn't want to be taxed, and he's mad that folks like myself have a lot of support in this city.
Preston held a public meeting this week about car break-ins, but it was a tweet that Preston wrote about them that got a lot of backlash and is the one that caught Musk's attention. Preston posted back on Wednesday that the city needs to pound in the message to visitors, don't leave anything in your cars. Critics accused him of giving in to thieves and victim blaming. On Friday, we heard from tourists who had their cars broken into near Golden Gate Park.
I thought I was hiding the bag, but not that much, obviously.
We didn't know how serious the problem was. We just knew there were break-ins, but didn't actually think it was this serious. It was just this is our first day in San Francisco.
As for Musk's promise to contribute to the campaign that wants to oust Preston, we reached out on Friday and were told that Musk has not sent any donation in so far. A 2-year-old was shot and killed in Vallejo yesterday, and this morning there are still a lot of questions surrounding this tragedy. Police have been looking for evidence at a home on Alhambra Avenue ever since they got a call on Friday morning from a hospital that a child was rushed there after being shot. The 2-year-old boy died at the hospital. A neighbor tells us she came home after it to find lots of police, including an armored car.
There's so much Vallejo can do. This is such a great city, and it's just, underfunded, it's underrepresented, it's seen as, a hallmark of crime, and it's very sad. The city has a lot to offer.
Police are trying to figure out if this was an accident or a crime. We'll bring you any updates as we get them. Business owners in Oakland say crime is driving customers away. And they're upset that the city recently missed a deadline to potentially get millions of dollars in grant money to fight retail crime. So now as many as 200 businesses are planning to go on strike next Tuesday in the hopes of sending a message to the city. One Oakland restaurant owner told our Andrea Nakano they might be forced to close for good, as she saw the reason why right outside.
Closing up shop for a strike is not something struggling businesses want to do, but they say if they don't unite now and demand real change, they may have to close their doors for good.
Last December, Nigel Jones opened up Calabash in uptown Oakland.
What we have here is our curry goat dish.
He's using recipes he learned from his grandmother and serving dishes full of traditional flavors from Jamaica. But business has quickly declined over the last 9 months.
When we first opened, we were doing, say, $4,000 to $5,000 a day. And now, if I can get $2,000 a day, I'm happy.
Jones sees a reason why just outside the doors of his restaurant. While we were filming inside, this car became a target of a smash and grab.
We're in a situation where the crime is driving our customer base away.
It's not just here at Calabash, but crime is having an impact on many businesses. The owner of Le Cheval just announced he's closing his doors due to crime. The strike will happen here at this restaurant on Tuesday.
If we don't do anything now, immediately, and all of us will be facing the same issue, closures, and which we do not wish to see.
What we're trying to do is make everyone understand it's a structural problem. Le Cheval is not closing because their food is not good, their cocktails are not tasty, and their servers are not excellent. That's not the case. Their customers are being terrorized.
Businesses will be demanding two things. One is for funding, and two is to get state, county, and other law enforcement agencies involved to bring order back to the streets of Oakland.
We are fighting not just for Oakland businesses, we are fighting for our residents to have a comfortable, social, and vibrant life.
Jones is hopeful change will come soon as the community unites to take a stand against crime. He's holding on for as long as he can, not only to fulfill his dream of owning his own business, but to also be a role model for others.
Have you ever just kind of thought, oh my gosh, it could be me that might have to close?
Every day. I'm thinking about it even now.
Public school teachers and staff in San Francisco say they are ready to walk off the job if negotiations with the district do not move forward. Teachers say low pay, large classroom sizes, and nightmarish payroll issues have dragged on since last year. Mission Local reports that the union is getting ready to authorize a strike. If that happens, teachers could walk off the job in October. Janitors and lunch workers could also strike. San Francisco Unified School District has about 50,000 students across 132 schools throughout the city. Now to a fight for pensions that doesn't involve teachers, nurses, or public workers at all. Mixed martial art fighters say they need help. They're often left broken after their careers are finished. Their average yearly salary, by the way, it's only about $64,000. But as Len Ramirez shows us, a new state bill could set up the first of its kind plan to help.
Ivan Batinich is a San Jose business owner, husband and father of three, 7-year-old Naman, 6-year-old Nayla, and 3-year-old Nadia. But when he puts on the gloves, he becomes a warrior and an expert at unleashing violence against his opponents with fists and feet. Ivan is a professional mixed martial arts fighter with a championship belt in the middleweight division.
Oh, nice leg kick landed by Batinich.
And with a 5-win, 2-loss record, he's had his share of giving and receiving the blows, the bruises, and the bloodletting of the sport. But at 37 years of age and with nagging injuries, Ivan might have fought his final round.
The uncertainty of my future has been the uncertainty of my future has been something that I've been really meditating on, putting lots of thought into what the next step might be.
Unlike most other professions, there is no pension plan for Ivan and all the other MMA fighters in California for their years spent in the ring. But that could change thanks to a bill by San Francisco Assembly member Matt Haney.
One of the challenges that they have is this can be a pretty short career. And sometimes they have injuries that are long lasting, and they feel that after they're done fighting, no one is looking out for them and no one is taking care of them. And I think that this pension fund that we've set up will be able to help do that.
MMA is a state-regulated sport, and California has the largest number of fights and fighters. Under Haney's plan, $1 of every ticket sold, plus a percentage of concessions and souvenir sales would go into the fund for fighters who have at least 14 bouts in California.
This had unanimous bipartisan support, Democrats and Republicans, no cost to the state, mirrors a program that we already have for boxers. We're committed to improving it over time. There are millions of fans.
232.
Millions of fans and some millionaire fighters, but many lower-level pros make only a few $100s per fight.
I think the bill is mandatory. The fighters really need it. I think that families need it. And a lot of my peers don't have any fallback plan or any other skill set in which that they can rely on.
Ivan has made enough to invest in his own gym, and while having a pension would help, he's really counting on his new fitness and martial arts training businesses to help support him and his family into the future.
The bill is sitting on Governor Newsom's desk. He has until October 14th to decide whether to sign it or not. Coming up, a tropical storm makes landfall this morning on the East Coast. We'll tell you which states are most likely to feel the impact. And more than 6 months after our wild winter, construction is finally underway on the Capitola Wharf, and it could turn out to be better than the original. And here's a live look outside at San Francisco on this Saturday morning. Stick around, we'll be right back.